Hello everyone and welcome back to another altered video for the week. Uh, this is Moyo and Silk, one of the new heroes from Skybound Odyssey. So we are checking in. Um, irrefutable proof that I read the comments and like to try and please you all. So if you've got any other suggestions, let me know. This deck bears a bit of a similarity to the Akesha and Taru deck we played the other week with a couple of small changes, actually pretty significant changes. Um, we're running uniques. We're running some like kind of weird ones, see what they're like. So this is a bit of a testing space for them. But the hope is that we can, in a similar fashion to the games in that video, get to a situation where we can loop celebration days and Silas's and sort of grind our way to a win there. The things that I'm concerned about are twofold, I guess. The first being that we don't have access to that after use, so we're always going to be playing with slightly worse information on the turns that we play first than we were with the Akesha and Taru list. Because our hero has a different ability. For anyone that is unsure of what they do, Moyo and Silk basically rewards you for playing big spells. So anything with a base cost 4 or more, like it nets you 1/2/2/2 Mana Moth on the hero side. And if it costs 7 or more, you do make that moth, but also draw a card. So we can rip through our deck slightly quicker if we're dropping big fatties, but obviously that is a bit of a late game option for us, and we don't get that after you. Alright, let's go through the list. This one's going to be slightly detailed, I guess. A lot of cards that we want to justify, I suppose, because we did build this one mostly from the ground up. We're going to skip over a few of them. Silas's Studious Disciples, both featured in the previous video. The Silas is basically the best card out of that deck, I felt. So as our endgame win con, he needed to come back. Got our 2 Celebration Days, 2 Sakurabru's Furies, 3 Off You Goes. So, removal early, chance to push someone back here, also nets you the 2/2 Mana Moth if you cast the Sakurabru's Fury, and the Celebration Day gets you the card as well. So we're hoping that rather than having to drop an Aether Shard on the field before we cast Celebration Day in order to get through a little bit further through our deck, we can actually just do that straight away with the Celebration Day with Moyo and Silk, so we're happy with that. Hoping that we can sort of beat our opponent to the bottom of the deck. Scholar's Vault, obviously testing that one out when we have so many 7 drops and 8 drops in the deck. And I guess we'll go through those first. So that reduces the cost of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the cards in our deck, which is pretty good. If we can stick one of these, it's going to help us get to that end game earlier. 9, 10, 11 mana, it can be a little bit rough for us to follow up the Celebration Day with anything. I think the big break points for us are going to be 11 if we've got the Scholar's Vault on the field, because that'll be 7 for the Celebration Day plus 4 for the Conjuring Seal, which will progress us through to our end game, and 12 as well. So Celebration Day plus Sakurabru's Fury, going to look pretty spicy there too. 12 also hits Defect plus Fury. Winter Nova plus Silas. So we're hoping to get there. We'll have to see. I think at this point in the video, you're going to know how successful we were based on the length of the video. I don't know how long it's going to be yet, but you will. Just hover over the progress bar. Couple of other things. We've taken out the Tinkerbells for spycrafts. I ummed and ahed about that one in the Akesha and Taru list as well. Felt a little bit light on creatures, but one of the changes I probably would have made out of that would have been to drop the spycraft here instead of the Tinkerbell. The resupply in particular, you know, that extra one of stats, not going to be super relevant because we're already playing pretty low to the board, but being able to both impact your opponent's options and get another one yourself might be good. Get us down to the 0 cards in deck a little bit quicker. We've upgraded from common to rare Conjuring Seal, draw extra cards, but the notable thing is that it costs 4, which means it triggers our hero, where the common version costing 3 and drawing 2 cards would not do so. Moth to a Spring, a new addition from Skybound Odyssey. 5 mana, triggers Moyo, makes 2/2 moths and draws a card. So for your 5 mana investment, you get 6 points worth of stats, and it replaces itself, which is big for Silas, big for you know, just having options in hand, which is where we want to be, and then just a few other options as well. So we'll go through the big spells that will trigger Moyo. We've got a Blizzard, a little bit of a board wipe on one side. If you get rid of everything on their hero side, you can make the Moth after. Defect, we're testing this one out. I don't know how good this one is going to be. If you know, the dream, I suppose, will be to snag a Hydrocana or something like that, equally large, Eternal stuff, or something gigantic to flip the script on your opponent. But this one's one on the watch list. And then lastly, Winter Nova. So we're running these at common. Sort of just ran out of rare slots. And this one, a modal spell, so we can either exhaust cards, make some moths, discard a permanent, and make your opponent sacrifice a creature. Not sure how often it's going to be that 3 of these will give us the full value that they can provide. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So if they've got, you know, 1 creature in play plus a permanent, we can make those 3. But that involves them having something out first. Moth to a Flames and Alilos are our ways to bridge the gap. Alilo is a 1/1/1 that's gigantic, but he also makes a 2/2/2 Moth on the hero side, so you are getting your 4 stats worth of mana out of him. Try and see how that one is. A lot of Moyo lists I've seen are running this guy, so gonna go with the crowd for now. See how he goes. Is there a better option? I don't know. Studious Acolyte reduces all the costs for Moyo eligible spells, so we can keep him around. Gonna be spicy. Moth to a Flame just to bridge the gap. Just play something a little bit early. I thought we needed like a 2 or 3 drop that we could recur and, you know, keep cards in hand if we draw it in our opening hand. So he's pretty good. Last thing we're gonna do, so we're gonna run through our unique. So we've got a 2/2 Pasiphae here. If your hero expedition's behind, makes an extra Moth. So for 2 mana out of hand, you get 4/3/2 worth of stats. Obviously you have to be behind, but that might be decent catch up. And if you get rid of a spell from your reserve on the way out, it's got the Pasiphae text there of gaining a boost per character a target opponent controls. Might help, I don't know. Just sort of wanted to try different uniques instead of the spell recyclers that we have for our Aphanis and Senka list. Baba Yaga here, 2 mana arrow, draw a card. Obviously, discarding a card from reserve isn't always going to be relevant if our opponent is very heads up and sabotages us. Off the bat, So if the only thing we've got is a high value target, we're not going to get the value out of her. But I feel like ripping through the deck is important here. And then the last one is just a man in the maze that I found in my bulk. So 64066 gets rid of all the boosts. You know, just hoping to see that one against a big charge out of Ordis or Muna. I suppose Brass Bug Hives as well. If we have an opportunity to, might be able to get that discard pretty straightforward. I am concerned about the 6 mana though. So won't make a Moth because he's not a spell. But we're going to try it out, see if we get a chance. If he's cheeks, and we'll go back to something else. You know? Alright, that's it. We basically spoke about every single bloody card in the list. Let's get into it. See you in game 1. And here we are, game 1 of Moyo and Silk, Soy and Milk. Big fan of that one, gotta say. Alright, we're up against Sierra and Oddball in Axiom. Let's have a look at our hand here. 2 easy gets for mana in Nova and Celebration Day. Got to keep track of how many there are left in the deck. I think it's one of each. Spycraft, I think, helps us get through our deck a little bit quicker. But if we play out here with these 3 cards, we can Moth, Disciple, off you go next turn, plus Moth. If we need to. Let's have a look. So we could Studious Disciple and then just off you go whatever they play to try and get a little bit ahead. Get the Moth into reserve is also an option. But if they play something good on stats, we're kind of just stuffed. They can block us with a permanent. But I think we'll start with the easy option. Keep some more cards in hand, more options to put into the mana zone next turn. See what our opponent wants to do. Do they want to block us? They do not. Alright, we're okay with that. We'll get rid of the Spycraft again, nothing in reserve to hit. We've always got the option to draw a card with the Baba Yaga if we want to. Don't have that chance anymore. So I guess here we just Disciple and then hit whatever they want to play with, off you go. Oh, they don't play anything. Sweet. I think our opponent's telegraphing a Brass Bug Hive here a little bit. We can play anything up to 6 mana. Get a Moth to a Spring. Puts a lot of stats on board, but we can't really follow it up with anything. Pasiphae and Baba Yaga might be good here. Draws us a card but keeps the Disciple in if we just Moth. Alright, I think we'll get rid of Pasiphae and see what happens there. think we'll take the opportunity to moth to a spring. And we'll put both on the companion side. Defect. I don't know if this is necessarily the matchup for this. Feeling a little bit bad about putting those two spycrafts into reserve. And they would have been able to do this whenever, whichever side we'd put the moths on. And so they block everything, but I don't think we're too worried about that. Yeah. I think defect's going to be a little bit worse here than off you go. And we've got options. So, Disciple's not that good here. So we could Silas Baba Yaga to cycle it. I think I like that idea for now. The Fury might come in handy, but our moths are going to be losing now to the brass bugs. We've got 2 banishing gates to try and look for. And I think we're okay with just playing a little bit slow here. Scholar's Vault might come in handy if we draw any of our big stuff. We're getting to the point where we want to do that. Might also draw out removal if they've got another copy of Boom. They'll get rid of the Silas here. And we're really in the market for like a... Oh, that's pretty good. Where do they play their Hive? Two, 3 plus off you go might not be too bad here. Except we have to get rid of our Disciple. Let's hope we draw a 1-drop. Bit late to the party, mate. That's alright, we got rid of 2 of your friends, so we can't really blame them for that, can we? That's really good from reserve. 2 reserve abilities and an arrow. So they can... They can't draw it, or they can't put it into reserve. But in a few turns that might be scary. Alright, what do we do here? Studious Disciples Baba Yaga might do it. So I think we'll play this guy out, see what they want to do with that information. Won't catch another draw off of it, which is a bit rough. Could have spy-crafted the mechanical training away. And I believe it's time for this Off You Go that we've been keeping in our hand for a long time. If they have a 1-drop, they have a 1-drop. The brass bugs for next turn, so Celebration Day would come in clutch here. Sakurabara's Fury is not too bad. We could also Conjuring Seal plus Silas here, because the Silas isn't going to be big enough on its own. Would like to get rid of that mechanical training. It's a bit of a scary card, but all they can do is make a bug. We get to see what they want to do first. If they use this straight up, I think we're justified in having gotten rid. I think we will use the Disciple's ability here in case we find a reasonable card to cast off of the back of this. One, two. There'll only be one away, so I think we actually take the chance to just drop another Conjuring Seal here. This Man in the Maze is going to look pretty cool. Hooked is scary. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently it would make them discard a card. No more sabotage in the deck for this little match girl. So maybe we're a bit greedy with getting rid of all of those. Blizzard looks good. We'll get rid of the second copy of it though. Alright, time to do a bit of math. If we play the second one out, we'll end up with 5 mana. 5 drops cost 3. Joke's on you, we didn't actually have any 7 drops in hand. No more 2 drops to follow up with the Acolyte if we play the second one out, so that's kind of useless. We'll make our little moth guy, and I don't think there's anything we can do to avoid the hooked here. Okay. So we actually have done that, which is nice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't play him. No celebration day. We're waiting for the 1 copy of that. And where do we like to keep our opponent? I think we're better off dropping the Silas here. How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's lucky that we were practicing. With the Akesha and Taru deck here. Hopefully we can use that knowledge to find a line. Get rid of those 2 spells in favour of these 2 creatures that we've got. Nothing we can do about the match girl, even if we had the sabotage. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Celebration Day ain't looking too poor. Winter Nova I like as well. It's probably too many copies of Moth to a Spring. Not sure about a Lilo here. Makes a Moth, but we don't really have any ways to boost it. Maybe, what is it? Bravos Signet out of the new set might be good with that guy. No copies of Hunger to save us against these. Four, 5, 6. If we can play the Man in the Maze here with them boosting something. I still think we're kind of just on struggle street. Okay, 6, off you go, off you go. He hasn't reduced the cost of anything, that's rough. Okay, so if we play him, go down to 9, Alilo costs 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the May is looking a little bit rough here. Well, Celebration Day to try and take a little bit more time to figure it out. Gets us extra mana, gives us more options. Having the extra one in deck here might have been good. I feel like there's something here that we can do, but I don't know what it is. Silas helps. Conjuring Seal we don't likely have space for right now. I wish we'd taken the chance to Scholar's Vault there. Alright, nice. I'll drop an Acolyte. We're looking at Fury plus Silas plus 2-drop. Okay, no chance for the 2-drop here. Bit of a shame. Two down to 8. Sakurabru's is 4 plus 4 for Silas. Don't have enough mana for that. One Fury in the graveyard. One Fury in the mana zone. Presumably they have some sort of removal spell in hand. We might just fall short here. They might just be able to beat us on both sides. Yeah, that'll do it. That's alright. We'll concede to that. And on to the next one. Gonna check out before our opponent crashes out. And we're back. Small brain break. Coming back in. Let's check it out and see how we do. Playing second this time. We'll see if that makes any difference. Uniques weren't the best. Gotta say, did not make a good choice here. I'm wondering if would have been better off dropping an extra 3 commons in here. Definitely worked for the Akesha and Taru deck, but we'll see how we go. Oh, this is a cheeks hand. I think this is the option. Celebration Day, it's too early. Blizzard, also a bit too early. We'd rather keep the removal from Off You Go, and Defect, also going to be a hard one to cast from 3 mana. So we'll have to see. If our opponent plays a 3-drop, I'm fully committed to just Off You Going it straight away and having nothing happen on turn 1. Dracana might be it. They're not going to play an Aloe Vera on turn 1. And honestly, even if they play a 2-drop, we may just consider Off You Going it. Let them win 1-0 if we are. It's the nuts. It's the nuts. Nailed it. Read them like an open book. Alright, what could we learn from last game? I checked out of there real quick just in case old mate was messaging us. Deck's a little bit funky in the mid game. It's not quite as consistent as getting to that super late game as Akesha is, because you're playing with less information, usually playing first half the time. What's good here? The Acolyte will eventually be good with the Moth to a Spring. We could Baba Yaga and Acolyte, so we've got it as a 1-drop later. A Lilu's an option as well. Baba Yaga Acolyte does sound pretty tempting, but it means we're going to have to get rid of our Spring or our little Snake Boy. I think we'll play slow. Not sure if that's the right choice. Like I was saying, sort of mid-game issues with this list. Nothing to block off. Maybe instead of this little guy, we did have trouble casting him for anything decent here. But the Sunisas that we had in that list might have actually been good instead of this. So in order to progress, trade 1 for 1, our opponent's going to have to play out their little dragon on this side. Not going to be dealing with that one for much longer unless they can keep it anchored. Pretty happy with that. It's kind of cool. It's like playing turn 1 with an extra mana in hand. Extra mana, extra card. Alright, that's too many snakes. Silas is a better card. Baba Yaga also cycles through. Although we don't actually have a follow-up play if we run her. At least we get to see what our opponent wants to do first. Pavati. Two, 4, 4. What can we do with that information? We can't Alelo, so we could Moth here. Put them both on the companion side and block old mate. And both advance on the hero side. I think that's good. If they have a 1-drop in hand to block us off in brown, I guess we have to be okay with that for now. But if they pass, we'll be happy. A Spindle Harvester doesn't block us because they've already played a character for turn, and it's only got power in green. The Moon Caregiver. Alright, everyone gets to go forward. Alright, we're on the hunt for another off you go here. It's not going to be too bad. 2 Silases is pretty good too. I reckon we'll rip through a little bit of our deck here. Baba Yaga plus Silas draws us 2 cards. Doesn't activate our hero, but we're okay with that. Get rid of the off you go. Blizzard's going to be cool if they ever anchor anything, or they do a mass anchor with one of their uniques. Okay, they're disincentivized to run Pavati here. Does block us. But that's okay, because they've already got the anchored on the little draggy boy. Tolarian Skater. Give something a boost. Now if they play Pavati out after our Silas, they're actually going to advance. I think we'll do it anyway. Not much else we can do at this point. Winter Nova has been disappointing so far. Super late game card, playing it just as a as its own thing. A little bit rough. However, we will have access to it in 2 turns. If they still keep the Dracana around, bang bang, we can make them sacrifice it. They'll just have access to all their mana and know what it is that we're doing. But we are winning on cards, so that's something. Losing on expeditions, we're in a bit of struggle here, but that's fine. Get rid of Snake Man. I think Silas and drawing the extra card with Baba Yaga are going to be good here. Alright, does the Scholar's Vault change anything? I don't think it does, because we have a lot of high costed cards in hand. I'm going to keep it as late game insurance. actually think it's the Conjuring Seal. We're far enough behind that we may struggle to close the game out if we take the time to draw extra cards. I think we'll drop the Baba Yaga here. And we are actually going to get rid of the Silas. See what they want to do with the rest of their mana. And then blizzard their face. So hoping they'll play a second creature out here. Get rid of something playable. Interesting. Don't think it actually changes anything though. So Silas is worth 6. So we would go up to 9 in blue. And if they Pavati, our Blizzard is really good next turn. I think that'll be enough if we just play him out. Off you go, so close to greatness. Really on the hunt for a Sakurabaru's Fury or something here. Man in the Maze might be good, if we can actually trigger its hand thing for something suitable. That 9's looking really juicy, but I don't think we're going to get there this turn. And the expeditions actually just line up real bad for us here. Two, three, four, five, six, 7. The Skater represents a lot of stats. We could just start by spycrafting that. That's not going to help us. One, two, 3 for the Man in the Maze. Blizzard means we've got no follow-up, so we do actually have to play the Silas here. Advance on that side and hope they don't have anything that can help. And I think we'll just hit the Corgi here. Playing the Corgi and anchoring something would block them, so if they play their last card out here, we're likely stuffed. Oh no, they can just play out on the other side. Yeah, they know we've passed. That's alright. Alright. It's fine. Bit of a flex on us, I guess. The Blizzard would not have stopped that either. Alright. There we go. Game 2 done. Still felt a bit funky. Had enough cards in hand, but what we had didn't really help. So we'll have to look at this deck. I guess I built it wrong. That's alright. I have full faith that you'll help me try and make it better. Alright, on to game 3. And we're back for game 3. Sorry for yelling at the end there. Good luck, have fun to our opponent as well. We wish you luck. Alrighty, Nevenka and Blotch. So we had an Axiom hero, a Muna hero, and a Lyra hero. This deck doesn't have any magical trainings in it. Oh my god, I just realized. No wonder we're struggling with turn 1s. Oh, buddy. This guy stinks. Can't believe it took me that many games. I did do testing with this deck as well, you know. If your hero expedition is behind, create a Manamoth illusion token in target expedition. Alright, we're going to drop the Acolyte on the companion side then, because our unique cares if the left hand side of our board is behind. So we don't want to go ahead there. On the off chance that we lose that side next turn. Don't want to even them up. What do we got? Any biggos? We got a Moth, a Winter Nova. Alright, too early for that one. Celebration Day Blizzard. One of our uniques. There's a lot of fat cards in the mana zone. I think we've got too many of those in here as well. Is that a valid sabotage target? I don't think it is. Not really getting anything out of playing the Studious Acolyte here though. We could resupply a 2-drop into reserve. Just realised our opponent did not activate their hero last turn. They had a 2/3 chance to just block us. Probably should have taken that one. We shall Moth. And then we'll look to play the Pasiphae next turn. They get a 6. Their Chronicler is anchored. Worst option for us. Because the extra boost wouldn't have done anything in order to block us, so keeping her around, it'll probably be fine. Well, that's pretty good. Sakuraba's Fury might be spicy as well. Would have been good with that bloody Acolyte we just got rid of, but hey, if you ever need, you know, reliable proof, I can't tell the future. And we shall get rid of the Spycraft. Although I do like resupplying here. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Fury. I suppose that's one of the good things about this deck. You're always going to have options for what to throw into reserve. I think we'll try and high roll here. No chance for sabotage. We do get a 1-drop, so we can play him off you go. They roll a 2 with the Tanuki. That's okay, we're fine with that. And either way, we've got an opportunity to win an expedition here. We'll get rid of that Tanuki. Pompoko. Alright. Pasiphae's hand ability is online, so paying 2 mana for what, 4/3/2 worth of stats. Looks a lot better. Moth means we won't be able to Alilo Pasiphae here. So we can put a lot of stats on the board for 6 mana here. Let's do a bit of math. So this is worth 2/2/2 plus the 2/2/2 from the Moth. So that's 4/4/4 plus 4/3/2 is 8/3/2. Yep. Make the Mana Moth. Always check which expedition you're giving it to, now that your opponents have the option of putting stuff onto their side. Now that you have the option of putting stuff onto your opponent's side, it can be a little bit squeaky bum. Tanuki won't block us, so they've got to find something else. We might just take a 2 for nothing here. Nope. A 1 for nothing ain't bad though. A 1 and a 6. That is rough for our opponent. They'll keep her around. but they don't block us off. Martingale doesn't do it oh, maybe she does? Okay, they don't have one anyway. But what is that? 1 in 6 times... No, 1 in 3 times. They got a... It was like an 11% chance for that to happen. I think there's slightly more complicated math about it than that, but... Well, that's some of the next turn. This would have been super juicy right now. We'll get rid of the Conjuring Seal with the hope that we can win off a Winter Nova. So 2 6s would have let us win. 1 and a 6, 1 and a 6, 1 and 1. So 4 options out of the 36 that they could have rolled. Yeah, no, 1 in 9 chance. Roughly 11% chance to win there. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, that doesn't help us. Because we'd have to get rid of our only other play for the turn. We might be giving up a 0 for 2 here. I think we'll drop the Alilo. Make a Mana Moth and block off on the Tanuki side. See what they want to get done. We can present 1 more power. So they will, even if they play nothing else, get a chance to block us off. But that's alright, we'll take it anyway. Can we from your reserve. Damn. If only it was from any reserve. 1 and a 3. Alright, so they do block us. That's alright. A none for 1 ain't too bad here. Winter Nova, slightly less cool, although we can block off 2 of their cards. So we could exhaust, discard permanent, make 2 moths. Or we could Conjuring Seal, off you go. Alright, we're doing it. Big splashy. Exhaust your 2 cards. Get rid of your Ouroboros. Make the Mana Moths on the hero side. Alright. We'll see what they can do. That's scary. Can they block us with 5 mana? Or they can get a double advance? Okay, no. Alright, we can see everything they can do. We still advance on brown. Maybe our opponent didn't. That's alright. Hit him with a GG, we'll take it. The Winter Nova did end up winning us the game. Just got over the line, but that was proper squeaky bum. Had we got to the next turn, we could have celebration date and seen what happened. Probably wouldn't have gone anywhere, but yeah, there we go. On the board. Happy with that one. And there you have it. 3 games done with our soy milk list. Moyo and Silk. Looking okay. I think the problems with the deck are, you know, mostly founded in its construction rather than anything inherently wrong with the list. I think I've just built it wrong, you know. Built different in a bad way. Wasn't too impressed with a few cards. A Lilo I'm a little bit suspicious of. Think this is a good card, obviously massively synergistic with our hero, impacts the board, makes the token. But without ways to buff it, we're probably struggling a little bit. Scholar's Vault, also not too impressive. Didn't really get us ahead of curve anywhere, and we couldn't find a place to play it where we were comfortable enough giving up what we were sacrificing. And Defect, I think, was another one. A couple of massive oversights. I think I was really silly to not even put the magical trainings in, so we're going to have to try and find space for those. And just make a few changes to the list. In terms of our uniques, Pasiphae is suspect. Baba Yaga I think is fine, rips through, you know, turn 1 play, turn 2 play. Turn 1 if we have a magical training in hand, which we should, because I'm, you know, which the only reason we didn't is because I'm, you know, a bit of a fool, but this Man in the Maze is cheeks. Let's get rid of that one. Alright, Alelo I'm suspicious of. Scholar's Vault, Defect we'll get rid of as well. These are all fine. I think Moth to a Flame because we need space, and we go down a Conjuring Seal as well. Moth to a Spring I did actually like. I think that's a good one. 6 power, 5 mana plus a card. Pretty good rate on that one. Celebration Day is obviously central. And I guess we'll check and see what it is that we've actually got available to us. There you go. So we've got 1 unique slot, 5 rares, 4 common spots. What I think we'll do is we'll take those Winter Novas off. Acolyte was good. I think it's better for this sort of list than the rare one, which only strongly reduces your big spells. And we're actually gonna start with the uniques. Let's find one that looks fun. Alright. Chef. Yes, Chef. I like that one. So, you know, relatively okay stats. Asymmetrical stats for the 3 mana. If it has 1 or more boost, draw a card. We're playing a lot of spells to be able to give it that. So I do like that one. I think we'll stick with him. We'll see how that one goes. And we'll move on to the rares. So for these spots I talked about, Sunissa. Amarok is another option. Gotta remember it's a little bit awkward because you won't be able to play him on the hero side if you want to make your Moth, so that's something to think about. But I did mention Sunissa, and we're going to upgrade to the rare version of Winter Nova, see how that one does for us. Oh, we need another copy of her. That's alright, we can do that. there you go. Good to go. Other options might be upgrading anything we've got in the list here. Studious Disciples, being able to play it out and still get your reduction might be juicy as well. Oh, no. Alright. Get the hell out of here. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, lady. I'm going to play Mana Flares instead. That seems fun. And then we've got to find spots for our commons. So we go back to the filters, rares, commons, and we're just going to type these ones in. So I'm going to try the Alilo at common. Magical training as well. So we can see more of the cards in our deck and keep our hand cost high for Silas. Works really well with our Baba Yaga. We'll go down. So 2 Conjuring Seals, 3 Magical Trainings. Seems a lot better than just having the Conjuring Seals in there. Is Mana Flare good? Pretty light on creatures. No permanents as well. Alright, that will be a one of. And the other thing we're going to do is Banishing Gates. We're going to run those at rare. One, because we have the spots for it, although maybe this is better. Play those guys instead. And then we get rid of these. And how are we looking numbers wise? We have one too many rares. Okay, so we'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's why. There you go. So we've got 2 more instances of removal that actually impact the board. We like that. Mana Flare is a bit of a wild card. You know, dropping that when you're on in the mid game might seem fun. So we'll play an extra one of that instead of the Moth, as much as we like that guy. But yeah, 5 mana would let us make a 2/2/2, push our opponent back. Obviously triggers the Moth itself. And there you go. Maybe a slightly better list. That's alright. I've changed my mind again. Sorry. I'd mentioned it in the video. Let's give it a run. 2 Bravos Signets. These ones play well with the Alilos, so expensive. Maybe too expensive, but it's alright. We'll try it out. Obviously, before the next time you see this this deck, I'll have had the opportunity to test it, make some changes. I'll explain any of those in the deck tech. If we found anything was bad in between then and now. But for now, take your time. See you next week. Love your work.